What if I told you there was a king, shrouded in mystery, whose legend has stood the test of time? Picture a ruler so enigmatic, his very existence is often questioned. Yet his tales continue to captivate the world. His life, his victories, his love, and his loss, all elements of a saga that has intrigued historians, scholars, and dreamers for centuries. This is the tale of a king whose story is etched in the annals of British folklore, immortalized in countless books, movies, and artworks. A character so compelling, his legend transcends the barriers of time and space. A king who, despite the doubts surrounding his existence, has managed to retain an enduring fascination. His name echoes through the ages, evoking images of chivalry, bravery, and mythical quests. This isn't just any king, this is King Arthur. As we delve into his story, prepare to journey into a world where history and mythology intertwine, creating a narrative that's as fascinating as it is elusive. Our story begins not with a birth, but with a prophecy. A prophecy that would shape the course of British history and spawn tales of courage, chivalry, and magic that endure to this very day. This prophecy foretold the birth of a king who would unite a fragmented land and bring about an era of peace and prosperity. This king, as legend would have it, was none other than Arthur. In the heart of the Dark Ages, when Britain was a patchwork of warring tribes and kingdoms, Uther Pendragon, a mighty warlord, ruled with an iron fist. Yet his heart yearned for something he could not possess, Igraine, the beautiful wife of a rival duke. This unquenchable desire led Uther to the mysterious sorcerer Merlin, who promised him his heart's desire in exchange for a pledge. A pledge that the child born of this union would be entrusted to Merlin's care. And so, under the cloak of a magical disguise, Uther spent one fateful night with Igraine. 9 months later, a boy was born. This boy was Arthur. Born of deception and desire, Arthur was whisked away by Merlin to be raised in obscurity, far from the prying eyes of those who might seek to harm him. Yet, amidst the humble upbringing, the prophecy pulsed like a silent drumbeat. It whispered of a destiny that was far greater than any mere mortal could comprehend. A destiny that would see Arthur rise from obscurity to become a king, a legend, and an enduring symbol of hope. So you see, the birth of Arthur was not merely the birth of a boy. It was the birth of a promise of unity and peace in a time of chaos and war. It was the birth of a prophecy that would echo through the annals of time, casting a long shadow on the tapestry of British history. The birth of Arthur was just the beginning of an extraordinary life. This life, filled with courage, love, betrayal, and magic, would weave a tale so enchanting that it continues to captivate us, centuries later. Imagine a sword, embedded in stone, waiting for the true king to pull it free. In the heart of Britain, a sword lodged in an anvil atop a stone stood as a testament to a prophecy. The prophecy that declared, "Whoso pulleth out this sword of this stone and anvil is rightwise king born of all England." And so, the stage was set for the emergence of a boy destined to become a king, a legend, none other than Arthur himself. This was no ordinary stone, and certainly no ordinary sword. This was Excalibur, a symbol of divine power and justice, and it lay there waiting for its true master. Many tried to pull it free, strong knights and ambitious nobles alike, but the sword remained unmoving, unyielding, its power dormant. Then came Arthur, a mere boy, unassuming and unaware of his royal lineage. He was not the strongest, not the most distinguished, yet destiny had chosen him. His attempt was not driven by ambition or the desire for power, but by necessity. He needed a sword for his brother, Sir Kay, during a tournament, and Excalibur was the only one available. With a humble heart and pure intentions, Arthur approached the stone. The crowd watched, some with amusement, others with bated breath, as the young boy extended his hand. He gripped the sword's hilt, and in a moment that would echo through the centuries, he pulled. To the surprise of all, the sword moved. It slid from the stone as easily as a hot knife through butter, as if acknowledging Arthur as its rightful master. The crowd fell silent, then erupted in cheers. The prophecy had been fulfilled. A boy, unassuming and humble, had done what no knight or noble could. But this was more than just a display of strength or destiny. It was a symbol of what Arthur stood for: justice, humility, and the power of the common man. With a single pull, a boy became a king, and a legend was born. With the crown came great responsibility, and Arthur was ready to rise to the challenge. As soon as Arthur ascended to the throne, he began his work in earnest to transform the kingdom. His reign was marked by a sense of unity and fairness, a stark contrast to the turbulent times before his rule. Arthur was a king of the people. He sought to build a kingdom where everyone, regardless of their birth or status, could live in harmony and prosperity under fair laws. This vision led to the establishment of one of Arthur's most iconic contributions to the Arthurian legend, the Knights of the Round Table. The Knights of the Round Table was not just a group of Arthur's most trusted warriors. It was a symbol of equality, a representation of the ideal that Arthur strived for. The Round Table had no head or foot, denoting that everyone who sat there had equal status, including the king himself. And the knights? They were the epitome of chivalry, bravery, and honor, handpicked by Arthur himself. They were not just his knights, they were his brothers in arms, his confidants, his allies in maintaining peace and justice in Camelot. Camelot, under King Arthur's rule, was more than a kingdom. It was the embodiment of Arthur's vision of a perfect society. It was a place where justice prevailed, where people lived in harmony, and where the spirit of chivalry was not just a concept but a way of life. Camelot was a beacon of hope in a time when hope was scarce. It was a shining example of what a kingdom could be under the rule of a just and fair king. Arthur's reign was a golden age, a time of peace, prosperity, and unity. His rule was marked by his unwavering commitment to his vision of a fair and just society. His actions, his decisions, his very life were all dedicated to this purpose. But even in Camelot, not all was as it seemed. The golden age of Arthur's reign would soon face trials and tribulations, testing the strength of Camelot and its legendary king. Behind the grandeur of the throne, a tale of love and betrayal was unfolding. A royal saga, a story steeped in passion, rife with heartache, and brimming with treachery. The love triangle between King Arthur, Queen Guinevere, and Sir Lancelot, his most trusted knight, was a tale that would echo through the ages. Now, love is a complex emotion, a force that can unite or divide, and in the heart of Camelot, it did both. The bond between Arthur and Guinevere was one of love indeed, but also one of duty. Their union was not just a marriage of two hearts, but a strategic alliance, a symbol of unity amongst Arthur's subjects. Yet, there was another heart involved in this royal affair. Sir Lancelot, the bravest of Arthur's Knights of the Round Table, a man of honor, valor, and undeniable charm. His heart, however, was captivated by the one woman he couldn't have, Queen Guinevere. It was a silent passion, a forbidden love that dared not speak its name, for fear of the chaos it would unleash. As for Guinevere, she was torn between duty and desire. Bound to Arthur by marriage and to Lancelot by a burning passion, she found herself in the heart of a dilemma that would shake the foundations of Camelot. The repercussions of this love triangle were far-reaching. It bred distrust and sowed the seeds of discord among the Knights of the Round Table. It drew lines of allegiance and enmity within the court, threatening to tear the kingdom apart. The unity that Arthur had fought so hard to build was at risk, all because of matters of the heart. A king, a queen, and a knight, all entangled in a web of love, loyalty, and betrayal. The saga of their love, the implications of their choices, would forever shape the course of Arthur's reign, casting a dark shadow over the golden age of Camelot. The heart wants what it wants, and sometimes it can lead to downfall. As with all great tales, the glory days couldn't last forever. As the sun rose and set over the kingdom, shadows of betrayal began to creep into the heart of Camelot. At the epicenter of these shadows was Mordred, Arthur's own son, a figure shrouded in controversy and deceit. Mordred's bitterness towards his father, a cocktail of resentment and ambition, led him to plot the downfall of Arthur. Mordred's scheme was as poisonous as a snake's venom, slowly seeping into every corner of the kingdom. He whispered lies into the ears of the court, sowing seeds of doubt and mistrust among Arthur's loyal followers. He painted Arthur as a tyrant, a king who had lost touch with his people. These whispers grew into a deafening roar, sparking a rebellion that would shake the very foundations of the kingdom. The tension between Arthur and Mordred climaxed in a fateful battle, a battle that would seal their fates and mark the end of an era. The battlefield was a sea of clashing swords and falling bodies, a chilling testament to the devastation of war. Arthur, driven by a sense of duty and love for his kingdom, fought with the courage of a lion. But even the lion, the king of the jungle, is not invincible. In a cruel twist of fate, Arthur was mortally wounded by his own son. As he lay on the battlefield, his life slowly slipping away, Arthur's legacy was etched in stone. His rule may have ended, but his spirit remained unbroken. He had fought with honor, led with wisdom, and ruled with justice. In the face of adversity, Arthur had shown the true strength of a king. His fall was not a symbol of defeat, but a testament to his courage and resilience. His death marked the end of an era, but the beginning of a legend. Arthur's spirit lived on, echoing through the halls of history. In death, Arthur became more than a king. He became a legend. Death is not the end, not for a king like Arthur. His physical form may have been laid to rest, but his legacy, his legend, it endures, transcending the boundaries of time and space. King Arthur, the once and future king, is a figure of prophecy, a beacon of hope that continues to shine brightly in the hearts of those who know his tale. This prophecy, this promise of his return, has been a source of fascination and intrigue. It's a story that whispers of a future where Arthur rises from Avalon, in Britain's direst hour, to lead his people once more. It's a tale that has been told and retold, each telling adding to the rich tapestry of Arthurian legend, cementing its place in our collective consciousness. The impact of King Arthur's story on culture and literature is profound. His tale, filled with chivalry, honor, and a sense of justice, has inspired countless works of literature, from Thomas Malory's Le Morte d'Arthur in the 15th century to T.H. White's The Once and Future King in the 20th century. His story has been retold in countless languages, each rendition adding a new layer to the legend, shaping and reshaping the image of Arthur in our minds. Beyond literature, King Arthur's legacy has seeped into our everyday lives. We find echoes of his legend in our movies, in our TV shows, even in our music. His story has become a part of our cultural fabric, a shared narrative that connects us across generations and across borders. It's this enduring nature of Arthur's legend, this ability to inspire and captivate, that makes his story so timeless. He may be a figure of the past, but he continues to live on in our present, shaping our understanding of heroism, of leadership, and of the power of a well-told story. And so the legend of King Arthur lives on, waiting for the once and future king to return. So who was King Arthur? A man, a king, or a legend? We've journeyed through a tale steeped in mystery and intrigue, a saga that continues to captivate us even today. King Arthur, a figure whose existence remains shrouded in the mists of time, has been the subject of our exploration. We've delved into his origin, his reign, his personal life, and his downfall, each facet of his life as fascinating as the other. We began with the enigma of Arthur, the mystery surrounding his birth. A child born of magic and prophecy, destined to be king. His life, right from the outset, was marked by extraordinary events, setting him apart from ordinary men. Then there was the fabled sword in the stone, a test of destiny that only the true king could overcome. Arthur, in his youthful innocence, accomplished what no other could, marking the beginning of his reign. His rule was marked by justice, wisdom, and courage, qualities that defined him as a king and endeared him to his people. But even a king isn't immune to the complexities of the heart. We witnessed the love triangle that caused ripples in Arthur's life. His queen, Guinevere, and his trusted knight Lancelot were caught in a web of love and betrayal, adding another layer to Arthur's already intriguing narrative. The fall of Arthur, his ultimate downfall, was as dramatic as his ascent. A story of battle, betrayal, and sacrifice, it marked the end of an era, but not the end of his legend. Because you see, the legend lives on. Arthur's story didn't end with his fall. It continues to be told, retold, and reimagined. It endures, much like the man himself, in the hearts and minds of those who hear it. So, who was King Arthur? A man, a king, a legend, or perhaps all three? The answer isn't simple, and maybe it's not meant to be. The allure of the unknown, the thrill of the unexplained, adds to the charm of his tale. Perhaps the mystery surrounding King Arthur is what makes his story truly timeless.